The first fire. It started with a strange light in the sky. At first, people thought it was just another comet or some kind of space event. But then the lights didn't fade. They grew brighter, sharper, and more focused. Moments later, fire came from above. Cities burned, buildings melted, skies turned black. Earth was under attack. The invaders came without warning. No message, no demands, just destruction. Huge ships floated above the planet, sending down fire and thunder. They struck fast, leaving nothing but ruins. In only 3 days, more than half of Earth's major cities were gone. People ran, screamed, cried. But there was nowhere to hide. The enemy wasn't just advanced, they were ruthless. Their machines moved like shadows, hunting anyone left alive. Soldiers tried to fight back, but human weapons barely scratched their ships. Tanks were crushed. Jets were shot down like birds. It was a massacre. Still, not all hope was lost. Deep underground, in a hidden base beneath the old mountains, a group of leaders gathered. They were the last voices of Earth's defense. There were generals, scientists, and engineers. They had lost everything, homes, families, cities, but their will was still strong. "We have to strike back," one of them said, his voice calm but cold. "If we don't, they will wipe us out completely." The room fell silent. They all knew the truth. Earth couldn't survive another attack like this, but they also knew something else. Humans don't give up. In the darkest hour, a new plan was born. They called it Project Hammerstorm. It was not just a plan to survive. It was a plan to hit back, to make the enemy bleed, to show them that Earth was not a weak, dying world, but a world of fire. While the aliens searched the skies and scanned the cities for life, the people below began to build. They worked in silence, in secret. Old war factories were brought back to life. Hidden labs sparked with new energy. Engineers built machines no one had ever seen before. Weapons powered by alien tech stolen from fallen ships. Soldiers were trained, not just to fight, but to win. These were not ordinary fighters. These were people who had lost everything. They had no fear left, only rage. In the ruins of one old city, a small group of scouts moved through the ash-covered streets. They wore armor made from scrap and carried new weapons glowing with blue light. One of them stopped and looked up. The alien ship still floated above like a dark god. "We'll bring it down," he whispered. He didn't say it with hope. He said it with promise. That night, far from the fire and ruin, a voice crackled over a hidden radio. "This is Earth Command. Operation begins in 7 days. The time for silence is over. The enemy thinks we're broken. Let's show them what fury really means." Across the underground bunkers and secret camps, people stood up. Mechanics wiped oil from their hands. Scientists locked in new codes. Soldiers gripped their weapons. The countdown had begun. No one knew if they could win, but one thing was clear. Earth was not going to die quietly. The hidden flame. In the cold silence of Earth's underground bunkers, the fire of resistance began to grow. For months, survivors had been hiding in the dark, scattered across mountains, forests, deserts, and old tunnels beneath dead cities. But now, under the command of Earth's last leaders, they were coming together. The mission was clear: prepare for the counterattack. At one hidden base deep in the frozen north, an engineer named Mark stood beside a giant machine. It looked like a tank, but much stronger. Its armor was black and jagged, designed to reflect alien weapons. Blue energy pulsed inside its core, a fusion of human science and stolen alien tech. Mark wiped his hands and stepped back. "This will burn through their shields," he said. "We're not just rebuilding, we're evolving." All over the world, people were building weapons like this. Not just tanks and guns, but flying drones, energy rifles, and smart mines. Every piece of alien metal they found was broken down and studied. Every weapon was copied and made better. Earth was learning fast. In the training fields near the base, soldiers ran drills from morning to night. They fought in armor made from scraps and scavenged parts. They learned how to fight in ruined cities, desert, space, and zero gravity. These were not the armies of old. These were new warriors, tough, silent, focused. One soldier, a young woman named Lana, stood at the front of her squad. Her eyes were hard, her face covered in ash and sweat. "We don't get second chances," she told her team. "We hit hard. We hit first. We don't stop until they're gone." Her voice was low, but every soldier listened. Lana had lost her family on day one. Since then, she hadn't missed a single mission. She was fast, brutal, and fearless. She wasn't alone. Around the world, new leaders were rising. People forged in fire and pain. Farmers became snipers. Mechanics became weapons experts. Children grew up fast, learning to survive in a world full of death and fire. Project Hammerstorm wasn't just about weapons. It was about changing the way humans fought. The enemy used speed and power. Earth would use rage and surprise. The enemy relied on fear. Earth would teach them fear. Far above, the alien ship still floated across the sky, watching, waiting. They thought they had already won, that the fight was over, but they didn't see what was happening underground. They didn't know about the growing army, the secret tech, the new war machines, the people who had nothing left to lose. In a secure chamber below the main base, Earth's command team reviewed the plan. A large screen showed alien outposts across the moon, Mars, and deep orbit. Their first target was a supply hub near the asteroid belt, a key station that controlled enemy movement between Earth and their homeworld. "If we hit that hub," the commander said, pointing at the map, "we break their line. We take their food, fuel, and communications. They'll be blind and starving." "And after that?" someone asked. The commander didn't blink. "After that, we take the fight to them." The room was quiet for a moment, then the lights dimmed, and the countdown clock appeared on every screen. Days until strike. Across the bunkers, tension rose. Soldiers checked their gear, pilots ran through flight plans, technicians fine-tuned engines and circuits. Everyone knew what was coming. They had trained, they had prepared. Now, they were ready. In a small room lit by flickering light, a soldier carved a simple message into the wall with a knife. "We remember Earth. We bring the fire." First blood returned. The silence of space was broken. A dark shape moved near, the asteroid belt, silent and cold. It wasn't a rock or an alien drone. It was human. For the first time since the invasion, Earth had launched an attack ship into deep space. Powered by a stolen alien reactor and shielded with advanced armor, the ship was designed for one purpose: to strike. On board, a team of elite soldiers waited in silence. Their ship, named Shadow 1, carried the first hope of Earth's counterattack. It had no bright lights, no noise. Every piece of it was built for stealth and speed. The mission was clear: hit the alien supply hub. Destroy everything. Commander Blake stood at the front of the main bay. His armor was black and scarred. His voice was steady. "Today we stop running," he said. "Today we remind them who we are." The team didn't cheer. They simply nodded. There was no room for excitement, only focus. The alien supply hub floated between two large asteroids. It looked like a giant insect made of metal, with arms reaching out into space. Cargo ships moved in and out, loading fuel, weapons, and food. The enemy didn't expect anything from Earth. They thought the humans were still hiding in caves and bunkers. They didn't think humans could reach this far. They were wrong. Shadow 1 approached without being seen. It slipped through blind spots hidden by asteroid shadows and jamming signals. The moment came. The order was given. Go. From the belly of the ship, human pods launched into space, small, fast, and deadly. Each carried a team of soldiers. They slammed into the station's hull, cutting their way in before alarms could even sound. Explosions lit up the metal hallways. Aliens scrambled, confused and unprepared. The humans moved like shadows, silent, fast, ruthless. Inside the station, Lana led her team through narrow corridors. Her rifle hummed with alien energy. Her steps were quick, sharp. She fired once, twice, 2 aliens down. Her team followed, clearing rooms with deadly precision. "We hit the core," she said into her comms. "Plant the charges, no mercy." Elsewhere, another squad found the main control room. The aliens tried to lock them out, but Earth's tech team had already cracked their systems. The doors opened, and human fire poured in. Blake entered last. His eyes swept the room. "Burn it," he ordered. The charges were placed, countdown set. The soldiers began to pull back, moving quickly through smoke and flickering lights. One soldier paused to look back. "They never saw us coming," he whispered. Minutes later, Shadow 1 pulled away from the station. Behind it, the alien hub exploded in a massive fireball. The shockwave shook nearby ships. Supply lines were cut. Enemy systems went dark. Earth had drawn first blood. Across alien networks, alerts blared. Commanders panicked. They asked questions. Who did this? How did humans get here? But there were no answers. Only the wreckage. Back on Earth, the news spread fast. People watched grainy footage of the burning station. For the first time in months, they smiled. The enemy had taken so much. But now, Earth had taken something back. In the underground base, Commander Blake stood before the mission board. A new mark appeared, a red X across the first alien outpost. He turned to his officers. "We hit harder next time." Around him, soldiers geared up for the next mission. Engineers loaded new weapons. The fire was growing. This wasn't just revenge. This was war. The turning point. The alien response came fast. Within hours of the attack on the supply hub, their warships moved toward Earth's orbit. Giant black vessels armed with plasma cannons and hunter drones formed a blockade between Earth and the stars. They were angry. But more than that, they were afraid. No human had ever attacked them like this before. In their minds, Earth was supposed to be broken, weak, and hiding. But now, humans were striking back, hard and smart. The aliens had ruled the stars for centuries. They had crushed many planets. But this was different. Earth didn't beg. Earth bit back. The alien command decided to send a message. Their fleet changed direction and moved toward Mars, where they believed the humans were gathering for another attack. They were right, but too late. Earth had already built a secret base on Mars, deep inside the Rocky Mountains. Hidden underground, it held a launch system, weapon factories, and a small force of elite soldiers. The aliens thought they could destroy it quickly. They underestimated humanity. Again. As the enemy ships approached, Earth's base came alive. Long range, cannons rose from the ground, firing beams of blue light straight into the sky. New defense drones flew out, swarming like angry hornets. From nearby caves, armored vehicles rolled forward, their weapons humming with stolen alien tech. Above the red surface of Mars, a massive battle began. It was not like any fight Earth had faced before. This time, humans were ready. This time, they had learned. Lana stood on a high ridge, her eyes scanning the sky. Alien ships rained fire below, but Earth's new shielding systems held strong. Her team launched missile after missile, tearing into the enemy's lower ranks. "We hold this line," she shouted. "No step back." Blake, now leading the Martian defense, directed the battle from a mobile command unit. "Focus fire on their wings," he ordered. "We break their shape. We break their fleet." For hours, fire filled the sky. The alien ships had power, but Earth had something stronger. Purpose. Every human fighter, every drone, every cannon shot was fueled by pain, by memory, by the promise of never again. Slowly, the tide began to turn. One by one, the alien ships fell. Their heavy cruisers lost control and slammed into Mars's rocky ground, exploding into clouds of dust and fire. Their drones tried to escape, but Earth's fighters hunted them down. Then came the moment. A massive alien command ship, the size of a city, began to rise higher, trying to flee back into orbit. Blake saw it on the screen. If it escapes, they regroup, he said. We end it now. All Earth's remaining forces focused their fire, missiles, lasers, railguns, every weapon available. The ship's shields broke. Its engines failed. It fell, screaming through the Martian sky, and crashed into the mountains below, shaking the ground like an earthquake. The battle was over. Mars was still standing, and it was human. Cheers rose from the red dust. Tired, burned, bleeding, but alive, soldiers hugged each other. Engineers dropped their tools and smiled for the first time in weeks. Commanders gave quiet nods of respect. The news reached Earth quickly. People gathered in the old cities watching, on broken screens. They saw alien ships burning in Mars's sky. They saw human flags raised high. For the first time since the invasion, hope felt real. In the command room back on Earth, the lead general looked at the stars above and said, "This was the turning point." He was right. The aliens now knew something they had never believed before. Earth would not fall. Humanity was rising, and the real war had just begun. Burn the skies. The victory on Mars changed everything. Earth was no longer just a target. It had become a threat. Alien forces pulled back from deep orbit. Their supply chains were broken, their fleets were scattered, and now humans were on the move, pushing forward not just to survive but to dominate. Project Hammerstorm reached its final phase. It was time to strike the heart of the enemy's presence in the solar system, the alien mothership. It was a colossal vessel, a floating fortress parked near Jupiter. Its size was beyond anything humans had ever built. Dozens of smaller ships orbited it, guarding it like a swarm of hornets. From this ship, the invasion had been controlled. Orders had been sent. Death had rained down on Earth. Now, Earth would return the favor. In the underground base, the final mission plan was laid out. Commander Blake stood in front of a massive screen. Images of the mothership flickered across it. "This is it," he said. "We take this ship down, and we shatter their grip on our system. We show them what happens when they push humanity too far." Special teams had been chosen. The best pilots, engineers, and soldiers Earth had. Ships had been reinforced with alien tech. New weapons had been tested: plasma bombs, gravity warheads, and EMP spears. This mission was called Operation Skyburn. At launch stations across Earth and Mars, the fleet began to rise. Dozens of human ships, small, fast, deadly, lifted into space. They were outnumbered, outgunned, but not outmatched. They had something stronger than any weapon: fury. In the silence of deep space, Earth's fleet approached the mothership. Shields up, engines burning cold, all systems locked on target. Then came the first move. Earth's lead ship, Firewake, launched a wave of EMP spears, disabling 2 alien defense satellites before the enemy even realized what was happening. At the same time, human bombers dove forward, releasing gravity warheads that tore holes into the outer layers of the mothership. Alarms rang through the alien fleet. Too late. The battle began. Human ships weaved through the enemy's defenses, dodging beams and missiles with perfect timing. Drones exploded in every direction. Fighters zipped through debris fields, striking from angles the aliens didn't expect. Blake's voice rang through the comms. Burn the skies. It became the call of the mission. Lana led her strike team aboard a boarding vessel. Their goal: breach the mothership's core and plant fusion bombs. As the battle raged outside, her ship crashed into one of the lower hangars. Metal screamed. Fire burst. Her team stormed out, blasting through defenders. The halls of the mothership were dark, alien, and filled with the smell of oil and smoke. But Lana didn't slow down. "This is for Earth," she shouted. The team moved fast, placing charges near power nodes, reactor cores, and command modules. They didn't plan to hold the ship. They planned to destroy it. Outside, the alien fleet was in chaos. Human ships moved like fire through dry grass. One by one, the enemy vessels began to fall. A cruiser spun out of control and slammed into its Own mothership sending debris flying. Inside the ship, Lana's team finished the job. We're set, she said. Get out now. They ran. Fighting through the halls, dodging alien fire, they raced to the escape pod. As they launched out into the cold vacuum of space, a blinding light flashed behind them. The mothership exploded. A ripple of white-hot energy lit up the darkness, turning night into day for a few seconds. Human ships pulled back, watching as the symbol of alien power cracked and burned, falling apart piece by piece. The skies were burning, and Earth had lit the match. Cheers echoed across the comms. On Earth, people cried and shouted. Screens lit up with fire and victory. The mothership was gone. The invaders were broken. But one question remained. Would they run? Or would they bring the full force of their empire? Blake looked at the stars and said, "Let them come." Earth was ready. The reckoning. The sky over Earth was calm, but the fire in humanity's heart still burned bright. The destruction of the alien mothership had sent a clear message across the stars. Earth would not kneel, but the war was not over. High above Jupiter's ruins, sensors detected movement. Something big, something ancient. It was the real enemy fleet, ships from the alien empire's core worlds. These were not scouts or local commanders. These were war vessels older than any human civilization. Each ship was the size of a continent, covered in black armor, armed with weapons that could destroy moons. Earth had hit them hard. Now, they were coming with everything they had. Back on Earth, silence fell across the command center. The new readings were clear. 5 massive ships heading directly for Earth faster than light. One chance, one final stand. Commander Blake called for a global link-up. His voice was broadcast across every surviving screen, radio, and device. "They're coming for us," he said, calm and strong. "They want to erase us. But we're not the same people they attacked. We've changed. We've sharpened. We've fought back. And now, we finish it." The plan was dangerous, unthinkable even. Earth would launch a direct strike on the alien homeworld before their reinforcements arrived. One shot. One mission. One reckoning. A massive ship named the Ember was prepared. It was Earth's most powerful weapon, a mobile warbase built from the wreckage of enemy vessels and powered by a dark fusion core. It carried every last advanced weapon Earth had. Its destination, the alien capital world, far across the stars. Lana volunteered for the mission. So did thousands of others. They knew it was a one-way flight, but no one hesitated. "This isn't about revenge anymore," Lana said before launch. "It's about making sure this never happens to another world again." As the Ember soared into the darkness of deep space, Earth's defense systems were fully activated. Every cannon, missile, drone, and shield was turned to the sky. The 5 alien dreadnoughts were getting closer. Time was running out. On board the Ember, the journey through the stars was long and silent. The soldiers trained every day. Engineers fine-tuned the weapons. Lana stood at the front of the observation deck, watching the distant light of the alien star grow brighter. She wasn't afraid. She was ready. When the Ember arrived, the alien homeworld came into view. It was massive, beautiful, and cruel. The planet was covered in cities, towers, and glowing fields of energy. Above it floated a defense ring, thousands of turrets and shield generators. No hesitation. The Ember charged straight in. Alarms sounded across the alien world. Fighters launched. Defense stations opened fire. But the Ember didn't stop. It fired a continuous beam of pure white energy, cutting through the defense ring like paper. Then came the missiles, the bombs, the flames. Lana and her team boarded drop pods and descended to the surface. They hit the capital city, crushing buildings and silencing command centers. Fires burned across the alien skyline. Screams filled the air. The aliens were powerful, but not ready for this. They had never faced this kind of enemy. They had never faced humanity, furious, united, and unstoppable. As explosions lit up the alien sky, the Ember reached its final position above the capital. The countdown began. A bomb made from dark fusion, enough to crack the planet's core, was armed. Lana gave one last message from the surface before the signal cut. "This is Earth. You started this war, but we end it." The bomb dropped. A blinding flash. Silence. The alien homeworld cracked apart, its surface tearing open, its cities vanishing into molten clouds. Far away, as the 5 dreadnoughts reached Earth's edge, their signals went dark. They had seen the death of their capital. They turned around. The war was over. Echoes of fire. The stars were quiet again. After years of war, destruction, and fire, silence had returned to the galaxy. But it was not the same silence. It was the silence that follows a storm, the breath after the scream, the stillness after something terrible has passed. The alien empire was gone. Its ships had vanished, its homeworld shattered. What remained scattered across the stars like ashes. Some alien colonies tried to flee. Others surrendered without a fight. None dared to face Earth again. Humanity had done the impossible. They had survived the unthinkable and won. On Earth, people stepped out of bunkers and shelters for the first time in months. The skies, once filled with fire and smoke, were now blue again. Birds returned to forests. Children laughed in empty streets. Life, slowly, began to return. But the world was not the same. Cities were still ruins. The oceans were quieter. Mountains hid scars of fallen ships. And in every town and camp, people remembered those who had not made it back. Statues were raised. Walls were painted with names. Fires were lit in memory of the brave. And high above, in orbit, a new monument floated in space. A black ring made from the remains of the alien mothership. On it were written 4 simple words: "We remember, we endure." Commander Blake returned to Earth with the surviving officers of the Ember. The ship had barely held together after its final mission, but the core team had made it home. Lana was among them. She stood quietly on a hill near her old home, looking at the empty land where a city once stood. Beside her were others, fighters, survivors, engineers, even children. No one said anything. They didn't need to. They had earned the silence. In the weeks that followed, Earth's nations came together, not as separate flags or rival powers, but as one people. The scars of war had burned away borders. There was no east or west, only survivors, only humans. A council was formed to lead the rebuilding, not just of Earth, but of something greater. Space was no longer just for exploration. Now it was home. New ships were built. Stations were launched. Not for war, but to watch, to learn, to grow. But they never forgot. Every fleet, every ship, every station carried one unspoken message: "If you come for us again, we will burn the stars." Years passed. Peace returned. But among the stars, across distant systems, stories began to spread. Whispers of a planet called Earth, a small blue world that faced an empire and set it on fire. Some feared it. Some respected it. Some refused to believe it. But no one forgot. And when someone, somewhere, asked what happened to the great alien empire, the answer always came the same: they messed with the wrong planet. The End, HFY. Earth's Fury Unleashed.